Yes, the chill was on me.
Alright, and welcome to the Uncaped Crusaders review, which I'm so happy we finally came up with a good name.
It's a great name. Good job.
Yeah. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
But yep, and here we have our first video, which we just did. We did our first one, a review on Batman versus Superman, or Batman 5 Superman, as we talked about in the video. Already have inside jokes, so if you watch that one, you got it.
Welcome.
And that one's up before it's very, very long. It's 2 hours long, so we're going to try and maybe keep that a little bit shorter this time. But
We should, yeah.
that we just had to rant on that one so much.
That was a big one. This one, and like...
And the movie's
Killing
3
joke.
hours long, so you know.
Right.
Anyway, so we have that up. That's our first video, and then this is our second one. We're going to be reviewing Suicide Squad, which I saw on opening night on the Thursday it came out. Ian has just seen it.
Saturday, yeah.
A couple days ago. So we'll get kind of two different perspectives. It's been a little longer for me. He's a little fresher on it. I guess we should get started on it.
Dive into it.
All right. What were your thoughts on Suicide Squad, the movie?
Well, like I said right before we started filming, I'm glad we did this a couple of days later, because if we had done this reaction discussion right after I'd seen it, I probably wouldn't be very coherent and probably would just come off very butthurt and like fanboyish, because like in the theater I was not a happy camper. There was
Really?
a lot of that and like that, but it's
that's
like,
a shame.
and like the whole night I was like thinking about it, like God, and like initially, and you're gonna think I'm crazy, but I'm just telling you initially, and I'll tell you everything that kind of factors in. Initially I was like, I might have hated that more than Batman vs Superman initially, and I looking back now I'm like, oh, what are you thinking? Calm down.
Well, I will give you, I was definitely more disappointed with Suicide Squad than I was with Batman vs Superman.
I was.
As far as the movie being made, if you look at it that way, Batman vs Superman is a bigger disappointment because you ruined a bigger franchise.
Right.
But we already expected that to be bad. I had zero expectation. The only thing I had going into Batman vs Superman is just the fact that I was going to get to see another Batman on screen. That was the only thing I had going into the movie. I knew it was going to be bad. This one, I thought was going to be very good after the first trailers. The trailers for this movie were incredible.
They're
All
great.
of them.
Yeah.
The trailers were vastly superior to the movie, and most of the footage in the trailers wasn't even in the movie.
Oh God, yeah. We'll talk about that. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree. I love the trailers. I really love the first one, actually. That was probably my favorite.
The first Comic-Con one?
Yeah, that was
that
great.
was
The
awesome.
park one. And like, I mean, and we'll get into what happened during the movie and all that. And so my expectations weren't as high. I was definitely more curious about this because it was a new property. I was like, wow, this is actually a really cool idea. Doing a villain movie. Marvel was not going to do that. No one else has done that. I mean, if Sony maybe would have, they had gone, Sinister Six, but it's good
But we're
never
happy
happened.
that didn't happen.
Right. And so then, of course, then all like the rumors about reshoots and problems, that kind of tampered my expectations, where I was like, all right, let's, just kind of prepare for what we know is coming.
Too much meddling.
Yeah. So really going into it, I didn't have really big expectations because I heard, you were like, hey, it's actually not that bad. I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, when I was watching the movie, oh my God, as soon as it started, I wanted it to end. Which is weird because from a lot of people, I'd heard the first half is really good, and the second half, the mission is where it all falls apart. But then I watched Half in a Bag, Red Letter Media, and they were the opposite. Right? The first half is a mess, the second half isn't much better, and I agree with them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the opinion that the first half was better, but that has nothing to do with the way the movie was made.
There's more to like in the first half.
Yeah, there's because it is very sloppy, and there really is nothing.
No.
There's no movie at the beginning. It's just a bunch of little vignettes.
Yeah.
However, a lot of the vignettes were really good.
Yeah,
That's the
some of
best
them were
part of the
good.
movie.
Sure,
So
but
it's like, so to me, I
together.
think of that as the beginning of the movie, as compared to how it was put together. Um, from that standpoint, I definitely understand that it wasn't really a movie in the first half.
And then they just jump into it, the mission. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, it's already been an hour.
yeah, and we still don't even really know the people because we just got to see
They-
a little bit of the like 2 or 3 of their backstories.
Yeah, none of them have been on screen together. Like, and then it's like, oh, yeah, but we'll talk about that when we get into the actual movie. But yeah, so yeah, walking out there, I was so mad, and then like thinking about what I was going to talk about in our review, and then looking at all the facts that we knew before going to it, it made a lot more sense, and I started to be able to get kind of rationale some of my thinking, or like be like, okay, you're not being reasonable here. We know this happened, so it's not their fault. Blah blah blah. So now I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I definitely don't like it. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to watch it again. But I understand a lot of what I don't like about it. I understand a lot of what I don't like about it isn't necessarily like the filmmaker's fault, basically. Not all of it.
Yeah, because it definitely has the feel of massive amounts of people throwing their random input in there, and I got that feeling right from the start.
Oh yeah.
I feel
yeah.
like as soon as this movie was greenlit, it happened.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, now, obviously, we're not involved in the studio at all, but I feel like whoever initially came up with the script, they saw Guardians of the Galaxy, they saw these other movies, and they're like, oh, well, we have this other property of kind of lesser-known people with this. Let's do a movie about them. It could be very interesting. It's very different than everything else. It's a way to kind of stand out and all this. I didn't look up who the screenwriter was or anything.
It was David Ayer. David Ayer wrote the
Okay.
script.
He wrote it
Like,
too?
He had 6 weeks to write it though. That's what Warner Brothers gave him. They
Okay.
went, this is our deadline. We want the August deadline. Make a script. In 6 weeks with this many characters, that's not on him.
Okay, well, I mean, then maybe it wasn't in the script process, but in the process of coming up with the idea to do this movie, whoever pitched it, if it was David Ayers or anyway, which it probably was, who pitched the movie, I'll bet you almost anything that the Joker was not in the original pitch.
Yeah, I'd be curious.
I would bet you almost anything the original idea. I don't know if script. I don't know if they got to him before he wrote the script, but in the initial pitch, initial idea, I bet you the Joker was not in it. And I might even go so far as to say it wasn't even in the original script. I don't know. It could have been, but I feel like that was not the initial even thought about. Really, this is Suicide Squad. Joker barely. The only thing Joker has to do with Suicide Squad is kind of as a little. I mean, every now and then he kind of is just kind of there because of Harley Quinn or whatever, which is kind of what the movie ended up being. But
oh god, yeah, we'll get to Joker. Oh god.
And then I feel like they started the production on it, and then all the board members in the studio who have no idea about anything were just like, oh, we don't know any of these characters. Nobody's gonna know any of these characters. Throw the Joker in there. I'll bet you anything. And so then we can have Batman and the Joker in the movie. And it's like,
yeah,
I bet you anything that's what happened, because that's what it felt like right from the start when they announced the Joker was going to be in it. I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and of course, right when they announced that, he was pretty much the #1 marketing aspect of the movie because he's such a big character.
Yep.
And like you saw him on every poster, every trailer, every TV spot. And of course, because he's so famous, he's probably the most popular villain in comic books ever, especially in the pop culture.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, of course. And then of course the feedback of Batman vs Superman was pretty much everyone saying was, we like Batman, so okay, put Batman in this movie. Even if it's for 2 scenes and like 3 minutes total.
Which was the best part of the movie, I'd argue.
Agreed. But yeah, and like, did you get a chance to read the Hollywood Reporter about the film and like what happened?
I mean, I've heard bits and pieces, but I haven't read the full piece though.
So basically, I mean, it's kind of like what we're saying is, Warner Brothers. The big thing was, this movie was kind of riding this marketing high ground when Batman 5 Superman came out, and the reaction to that was very poor. So Kevin Tsujihara, or I forget, not Tsujihara, the CEO of Warner Brothers, when he heard that, he was freaking out. He was mad, and he was like, this taints the DC legacy going forward, kind of.
And
so
yes, it does.
Sure, of course, the biggest movie. But and so they freaked out, And then that's when they hired the trailer company that did the second trailers, not the first Comic-Con, but the second two, where, you notice the logo went like neon, all the music came incorporated. So they hired that trailer company that all they do is make trailers to re-edit and reshoot the movie. And that's what the reshoots.
Most movies use the trailer companies like that to make the trailers. That's why so many trailers are the exact same.
Yeah, but not in like the actual filmmaking process as much as they did with this one, where literally the trailer company was going, no, add more scenes, blah blah blah, because they don't know anything about movie. They know how to make a trailer great, absolutely. Right. But yeah, they were basically having them be the director, kind of standing in for the reshoots, and you can clearly tell, what is reshoots and what isn't. Like, the whole tone. I mean, the first trailer was dark, like the logo was black and like iron red, and then like the second one is like neon and like bubblegum and like green and Joker, all these like graphics, but yeah, so I mean that's the biggest reason why it feels like a mess more than any other. But it was easy for me to go, the reason I don't like this movie is because I can tell this scene was not original. You can tell what was added, so that kind of helped tamper a lot of hate I had. Where I was like, okay, it's not because this movie is just bad, it's because they messed it up,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I definitely agree. It reeks of tampering, which has been a staple of many DC movies. I mean, going back all the way, to Green Lantern and movies like that were just basically created by, the executives and the board members and stuff, and where directors almost had, were completely shackled as to what they were actually doing.
Yeah.
But overall, I guess we'll get into overall thoughts at the end. But
H, you wanna get into it?
Yeah, I guess we can kind of start.
Okay. So
now, right from the start, movie opens and we get basically just a giant montage of music videos.
Okay, yeah, we gotta talk about the music first. That might have been the aspect that I hated the most. Not because of the soundtrack. You look at the soundtrack,
right.
like on iTunes, it's great.
Oh, no,
there are a lot of
songs
great
are
songs. Great. The way they put them in the movie is so bad, so baffling. Amateur, yeah. I mean, like literally, the part where I roll my eyes and I'm like, I'm done with this movie, was literally the part where Amanda Waller first shows up walking into the building, and by then it's like not even 3 minutes into the movie, and this is our third song. It was the Creedence Clearwater revival song, the very first. Okay.
No, the very first one was the Animals version of House of the Rising Sun.
Oh, yeah.
That's what opened the movie.
Oh, shit. So yeah.
Which I thought that opening and the song to open it was great. With
that's
the prison
fine.
And everything. That might have been the only one that seemed to fit.
Yeah, but then you get to Harley Quinn's entrance, so you have the You Don't Own Me song, and then you get to Amanda Waller, and you have the Rolling Stones, and by that point, like, I'm done.
And there's no, like, bridge in between them. It's just like, end, next song, end, next song.
Oh, God. So the perfect word was annoyed. I was so annoyed when that was going on, because I knew they were trying to go for a style that was crazy, like, we're going to be different. We're going to have all this music like Guardians of the Galaxy, let's be real. But then they abandoned it, like, an hour into the movie, but we'll talk more about that more later. But, yeah, the song, one after the other, no type of flow, no type of rhythm, was where I was, like, just rolling my eyes and shaking my head.
Yeah, and then, it's basically just showing all the different villains in prison.
Yeah.
And that's really it. I mean, it's just kind of establishing that they're there and, that they are all in prison. And then,
but then you get to Amanda Waller at the dinner table with two guys, and that's where we actually get to, like, the bios and the background of each character. And some of those backgrounds are good.
Yeah, and to me, that's the best part of the movie. It starts, she starts with talking about Deadshot, Will Smith's Floyd Lawton. That character took me a little while to get used to, because it's just so different and it's so Will Smith.
Yeah, that's my problem. I don't see a character, I just see Will Smith.
Right. But at the same time, it was probably the best job just of any of the actors of in the entire movie.
Yeah,
it was enjoyable. Once I got past kind of the initial I guess annoyance of just how far it had skewed from the comics, about halfway through the movie, and then you kind of just start to watch it for the character. It's an enjoyable character. It's the more logical of the characters.
Yeah,
It
like
has
his,
an they did a good job with the Deadshot's backstory with the daughter.
Yeah.
They
And
did a
his is
good
very-
job of showing him, his humane side, but never too far as to where he's like questioning what he's doing.
yeah.
So I thought they did a good job of balancing that. I thought Will Smith was enjoyable, it was fine, and I wouldn't mind seeing that character again, honestly.
No, I wouldn't either. I'm not a Will Smith fan really. I don't like him in real life, but yeah, like as soon as I kind of got over that, you forget just how charismatic he is and how good he is. Like, I mean, he can sell you anything. Like, even in this movie where it was at its worst scenes, Will Smith was still shining in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's why he's a movie star.
Yeah. I totally agree. And to me, that was my favorite part of the movie, was the flashback of him, his backstory at the beginning.
Yeah. This is the most like focused and makes sense. He's doing it for his daughter. Okay, that's
it shows him, on a hit with someone, and that was an enjoyable scene. It was a believable scene. He's like, here, pay me. Time's running out. It's like perfect. He's, completely extorting the guy.
Yeah.
It felt very natural and it felt real.
Yeah.
And then,
in that scene, I didn't mind because, of course, he had a song. I don't know what song it was, but it was in the background. It wasn't like there were scenes in this movie where like you had the song going and it was like full volume, over dialogue, over sound effects, and I was like, stop. But in that scene, it's in the background. It's showing his little intro. Okay, that fits.
And then we get to see him put on the mask, which I was happy about. I think that mask looks kind of dumb. I'm not a huge fan of the mask. And then, of course, I knew he wasn't going to wear it the whole time. I couldn't believe they put he wore the mask for that initial scene during later. I couldn't even believe he put it on then.
I can't believe I've seen posters with him on it, whereas the entire cast and he's got the mask. I'm like, Will Smith doesn't want his face out there? Like, that surprised me. But yeah, he wears it for
because
two
Deadshot
scenes.
always wears a mask at all times.
It makes sense. Being an assassin, you want to cover your face, but whatever.
Yeah, but whatever. I expected it. To be honest, I didn't think he was going to wear the mask at all, except for that one shot. So the fact that he then put it back on later during one of the battles, which I don't even remember which one because it was so convoluted by the end.
The one in the office.
Yeah, the one in the office. I was just happy that he put it back on at that point. I was like, wow, Will Smith put the mask back on. Like,
yeah.
Even though it was only for 2 minutes, I was still
Not
pretty
even,
happy.
yeah.
But anyway, and then he gets away, and then it's her talking about basically they found leverage on him, which was his daughter. And that angle was, I thought, done fine. Will Smith seems to do really well acting with kids. Like,
you're right.
With his kids, it just seems to be really good. Like Pursuit of Happiness was great.
Yeah. After Earth, not so much, but
yeah. Well, not his actual kid.
Yeah.
That's more the kid's fault.
Is Shyamalan, everybody.
But and then basically they're like, we just let the right guy know who it was, and then you're like, oh boy, and then him walking through the thing, great scene with the daughter, and then it's just like Batman. And he's like, starts fighting him, disarming him, and then Will Smith pulls out, another gun, and then the daughter, gets in the way, and it's like, don't do it, Dad, or whatever. Which I thought that whole scene was done very well. And Batman, he doesn't even flinch while Will Smith is pulling the gun. He's just standing there.
Right.
And then the daughter gets in front. He's just standing there already, just kind of waiting. Yeah. And it's great. It's that one scene. Anyway, he says something else to him, and then the daughter does that, and then Will Smith, throws the gun away, and Batman pulls out handcuffs.
Yeah.
And then
doesn't pull out a brand.
That little segment thing is the best Batman I think that has ever been on screen ever. From any of the movies, from the 90s Batman movies, to the Nolan movies, to Batman vs. Superman. That one little scene is the best Batman that has ever been on screen. Because that is Batman, which we have not gotten at all in the movies. He's just taking down the criminal that he, can get to.
Well, that
That's
might be
it.
a little bit. That might be a little hyperbolic for me, but I definitely agree. And like what I like about that scene is that Batman, unlike in Batman 5 Superman, is subtle in that scene where
Right.
we see him come down and like we see the cape, like oh shit, there he is. He doesn't like blow up a building, come out, beat the shit out of the daughter, then beat out and pull out the brand and like no, and then the daughter's like don't do it. No, you're right. It's perfect. It's Batman. He disarms him. He pulls out the gun. Batman's like, what are you gonna do? And then, like, as soon as he puts it away, he doesn't go, I'm going to break every bone. He just pulls out handcuffs. It's perfect.
That is the first time I've ever seen handcuffs in a Batman movie.
That is probably true, yeah.
And instead of, just killing him, he actually is handcuffing. I'm like, that felt like Batman. Everything about that felt like Batman. It felt like,
I agree.
the badass, the Night Stalker. You can feel a detective in there. Obviously, Amanda Waller didn't just be like, hey, Batman, here's Deadshot. It was probably... Although, actually...
Yeah, that was the only problem, is that, like, she's
Maybe.
like, we dropped a tip for Batman. It's like, what tip? That Will Smith walks down the street with his daughter?
Right.
Who cares? A small detail that I can forget.
But ultimately, that was my favorite scene of the entire movie, and it's in the first, 15 minutes, so that's a problem right there.
And it's 30 seconds. This is the other thing that bothered me about this, like, opening sequence of scenes. The scenes are so damn short, and it's like ADHD along with the music, and that was why I almost thought about walking out. But the only reason I did it is because I paid like $16 for Prime. It's like God,
right?
So expensive, but but again, I would agree. Probably my favorite scene in the movie.
And then it goes right to the next scene, which is Harley Quinn's backstory. Okay. That might be my other favorite scene of the movie, but just by default. Just because it's another thing where it's like, I want to see that movie.
Yeah.
I want to see that. I want to see that Deadshot movie, and then I want to see this Harley Quinn and the Joker movie. Mad Love is one of the best. It is a fantastic. I'm not going to say it's one of the best Batman stories. It's a fantastic story. The origin of Harley Quinn. It's done amazing. It's believable. It's interesting. It's different, and they cram the entire thing into a 30-second flashback.
Yeah.
And you.
So which scene are you talking about with Harley? Because there's like two or three.
The whole flashback up until the nightclub. All that stuff.
Okay.
That's the entire Mad Love story. They just crammed right there in a minute.
Okay, I can agree with that. The nightclub scene is where I'm like, I don't buy this Joker at all.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're getting to. We'll talk about that. Anyway, and then so they did. The entire Mad Love storyline in a minute and a half or whatever.
And the other problem is you can tell that there's way more to that scene in the movie in the trailer, because the way they cut it in the movie,
it's in half the trailer. It's half the trailer.
Yeah, but you can tell it's played a lot more straight, where a scene like goes on for like a normal, but like really when you saw the shocker, it's all like crazy. I'm like, what is this?
It's like 18,000 cuts in 2 seconds.
What do we have here?
What are you gonna do? Are you gonna kill me, Mr. J?
What? Oh, I'm not gonna kill you. I'm just gonna hurt you. Really, really bad.
Yeah, and like that scene, imagine how like powerful that scene would be. Like, they break out the prisoner or the psych ward or whatever, and he grabs her, and it's nice. Like, imagine like Tarantino writing that scene, like how tense it would be of 5 minutes of him like, what is he gonna do? What's he gonna do? And then boom. But no, it's like, and then like sound effects, weird effects. I'm like, what? Oh.
Yeah, like I said, I wanted to see that movie.
Right.
And the little bit that we got to see, and then even then the nightclub scene, I don't really know what was going on there.
Oh God, I hated
honest.
that scene.
I honestly don't know what was happening.
Dude,
what was the point of it?
Nothing.
He was talking to some thug, and why? Like, they didn't even explain that. Or
and why was it Common, a known actor, in 30 seconds? It's like, why didn't you just get an extra? Why didn't you get Common and pay oh, I know that guy. Oh, he's dead. Oh,
I don't know But the chase part we thought was really good.
Yeah.
Once they were driving in the Joker's car and Batman was chasing him, I thought that scene was great too.
Yeah.
I thought that was done very well. It seemed like one that was straight out of like the Batman animated series.
Right, because he's on top of the car. He doesn't put a grenade in the car. He doesn't, violently.
Yeah, he doesn't shoot it and blow it up.
Yeah, he doesn't take the grappling hook and
and throw it around. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. That seems good, but we're not letting the nightclub scene off that easily. So I mean, we might as well get to like what did you think of the Joker or Jared Leto's Joker in this movie? Is too big of an issue not to address it, to kind of go around it.
As far as Jared Leto's Joker is concerned, when it first came out, and that first picture came out, I was like, oh no, this is horrible. Everything about it is horrible.
I hated that picture.
And then later it was like, okay, it's, a little bit more, the teeth then made sense.
Teeth
and some other things, so I kind of softened a little bit about it. And then, but I still hated the look. And then, kind of as it kept going, and we saw a little bit more footage, you couldn't really determine anything. It was just like you can't really tell. He's just kind of talking to people. And right before the movie came out, I started to soften up to it a little bit. Before I saw it, I started to soften up to it a little bit, just from kind of seeing Jared Leto talk about it and stuff. Because I think Jared Leto's a good, I think that was a good choice for the Joker.
Yeah,
I thought that's fine. No problem with Jared Leto playing the Joker. I read an article, I don't remember where it was, with David Ayer basically talking about where this idea from the Joker, came out. And he basically said, like, in the original Joker stories, like from Batman #1, which is the first Joker story, and those early Batman titles, the Joker was really, he wasn't much more than kind of a gangster. Like a 1940s gangster with, the clown, the distorted face. That's really what he was. He was robbing places. He was stealing jewels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He had henchmen, like stuff. It was very, very thuggish, but 40s thuggish.
Yeah, back when Batman used a gun.
Well, no, he didn't use a gun here. That was farther.
Oh, yeah.
So he said he was thinking of that kind of original Joker thought, and then what that type of character would look like now in 2016. That's where, the clothes and the tattoos and all that stuff came from, is what would a gangster look like now. And so when I was hearing him talk about that, he explained it very well, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense in a way. I still didn't love it or nothing, but I can see where the thought was. It wasn't just like, oh, let's make him look, completely different.
Yeah.
It was. But obviously that is part of it, because you do have to. You have to do something different, and you do.
Oh, yeah.
The problem was they didn't do anything different at all. The only thing different about that Joker was the look. That basically felt like a more dumb or more just kind of whack version of Heath Ledger's Joker, but not in a good way.
Yeah.
Like, it was very slow and very methodically talking with the same voice that Heath Ledger did. It felt like Jared Leto was trying to do that same voice. But then it was just like, oh, and now act like you're just, high on cocaine.
Yeah, just being
half
crazy.
The time. But not even crazy. It's not even him being crazy. He's just like going like this and just talking and moving his head, and like he's just completely stoned the entire time.
Yeah.
And then there's no. And then you don't even know. Okay, I'm trying not to fully have all these thoughts about the Joker, because he just wasn't in the movie enough.
No.
He was barely in the movie, which is fine, and I feel like the Joker should either be in the whole movie or in almost none of the movie. But you can't promote him as the main thing and then have him in the beginning of the movie and then at the end of the movie. That did not make any sense.
No,
and not even just at the end of the movie. You still show little snippets of him doing stuff throughout the movie. And it's just like, that
Don't
is
care.
the wrong way to do it.
Yeah,
Because then you want everybody wants to see him now, and you're not giving it to him. Instead of, like, probably the best thing that they could have done if they were going to use him is not even have him at all show up until that helicopter scene at the end. That should have been the very first time you see the Joker. You should hear about the Joker. You should hear her talk about the Joker. You should even maybe see her communicating with the Joker and somehow. You should never see the Joker.
You're
ever.
right. Imagine how cool it would have been if they had built it up and then you have the helicopter. Oh, that's Echo 1 or whatever. Door slowly comes down.
Joker.
Boom. Dude, can we talk? Okay, I'm going to talk about the Joker and why I hated this Joker.
Yeah.
Again, pretty much a lot like you said, I like Jared Leto. When I heard, I'm like, okay, Jared Leto wouldn't be a bad Joker. I just don't like what he and the film and the director have portrayed this Joker as. I hated the picture. The only thing I did like, and I didn't like, it made sense, was the teeth.
Yeah.
But the tattoos were terrible. I hated everything about the picture, basically. And
I like
this
the
movie,
white skin and the green hair, and that's about it.
But yeah, and the problem with this movie is that they did something that you should never do, and that was they made the Joker forgettable. You forget he's in the movie. And of course, Jared Leto has come out and said that he shot way more footage.
Oh, and I'm sure he did.
Absolutely, and we see in the trailer that there's total scenes cut out. But the problem is, I mean, that's the movie's fault for, again, marketing him so heavily and then cutting him out of the movie to the point where, yeah, when he was going to the lab with the one guy, I'm like, oh yeah, Joker's in this movie. But I also equate the ability to forget about him with just a performance. And I'm sorry, again, Jared Leto's a great actor, but again, the mannerisms are so... The word I would describe him as generic. It's just a generic Joker. I mean, like, again, you look at the entrance. I know it's hard to compare this to Heath Ledger's because, you know, of how much people idealize it, you know.
Right.
But, I mean, you look at the opening scene, or not the opening scene, but the first scene where we really see the Joker, the pencil scene, and how much of an entrance that is compared to the nightclub scene. And again, like, he is like he has to constantly remind you that he's crazy or the Joker. So he does all the, you know, like, you know, no breaking eye contact, licking his lips, dragging out his words. You're just like, this isn't the Joker. This is generic, crazy villain. And I mean, I don't like the whole. I understand the kind of the nod to the origin of the Joker with him being a gangster, but
It wasn't done well.
And I feel like there's a reason why nowadays people don't think of him as a gangster because the character has evolved.
Right.
And that when you go back and just make him a gangster, you're kind of limiting the character. That's all he is. Where he should be his own like entity, his own like force of nature, something completely different than just he sits at a nightclub. You're talking to me all this sweet like, and then he just shoots him for no reason. That's how crazy and unpredictable Joker is. But
Right.
I mean, again, I forgot he was in this movie, and I can't believe I'm saying that about the Joker. You know, where like Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, Mark Hamill, they steal every scene the Joker is in, and you're like, oh shit. And like someone brought up the great point. They're like, Ben Affleck's Batman was great. I don't see any way like they can be on the same level. Where I'm like, Batman's just gonna kill this guy. Like mentally, mentally, acting wise, physically, like there's no foil. There's no like, they're not a match for each other.
And also, if we're going on that topic of them meeting, which obviously they have to do in the next
They're
Batman
going to,
movie.
obviously, yeah.
And with this Batman, why is the Joker not dead?
Exactly.
And especially if he had just killed Robin, and that was the whole point.
That was my biggest problem when they introduced the fact that he kills people. I'm like, okay, if he snaps and goes, fuck it.
But yet he's not going to kill the person who killed Robin.
Yes, as soon as he crossed that line where he was like, you know, I'm just going to kill criminals, the first thing he would do is devote everything to fighting the Joker and kill him. That's the whole point of Batman and Joker's storylines. It's like he wants to, and the Joker wants him to in some ways, but he can't. And again, the fact that he's still alive is like, he'll kill a random henchman, but you won't kill the guy who killed Robin, who probably just killed countless other people in this universe. Yeah, that's the biggest plot hole right there, or just, you know, over the whole franchise. But I mean, they'll retcon it in Justice League. He won't kill anybody.
But it doesn't matter because this all happened before.
You're right, but whatever. But you know, that's my piece on the Joker. I did not like it at all. Again, nothing on Jared Leto, but I mean,
and we'll see what happens when he has more of a fleshed out role because
That's
this was
good, yeah.
very, very abbreviated. So.
Yeah.
I still don't see much potential there, but
I
mean,
don't like it. I mean, that's
yeah.
I mean, I know that's all me, but I'm like, this Joker, I'm like, I don't want to see more of it, really.
Yeah.
I don't really care. I'd rather see, like, the Riddler done really well, or, like, someone else done really well, Hush, you know, someone we haven't seen before, than just see a generic Joker again, you know?
Yeah.
But, I mean, whatever.
Anyway. And, but it's also, you know, the introduction to Harley Quinn.
And I liked Harley Quinn a lot. I thought she was great. Probably the second best part of the movie, you know, other than, like, the Batman flashbacks.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, and we all kind of could see this. You know, we could see it. It was just in the trailers.
As soon as they announced it, too, I was like, oh, that's perfect.
Right. And, you know, so obviously, you know, Margot Robbie playing Harley Quinn, we're all like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. That works.
Yeah. We love Harley Quinn. We love Margot Robbie. It's perfect.
Right. And I thought she did a very good job. I thought she was a little bit too serious in some parts.
I thought she did a great job, but the script, some lines they gave her were god awful, and like it shows how good she is. That like even those bad lines are like, I'll forget that one.
Yeah, that was the biggest problem with her character, was whoever wrote those parts, because that was just it was cringe-worthy.
Yeah, what is your perfume? The stench of death? I'm like,
yeah. Every one of her quote, you know, one-liners was just bad, and that's another thing. So that's another thing I want to talk about is the attempt of this movie to be funny, which.
Not.
Speaking of reshoots, how much you want to bet that almost every one of those lines was part of the reshoots of them trying to make it funny after Batman vs Superman?
Yeah,
because it feels so forced. The comedy, the timing's bad, the delivery's bad, the actual writing of the jokes are bad. Nothing about it's funny. It's all just like.
And I'll pinpoint the one perfect moment where they completely botched what could have been a great scene of comedy, and that was, of course, Slipknot. Slipknot character, again, we all know was only in this movie for that one scene.
Right. And someone had to get their head blown off just to show it.
But they fucked that up, too. It's like, I don't care about Slipknot. I don't care that they used him for one joke. If it had been a good joke, it would have been funny. But the way they shot it was so bad. It was again, Captain Boomerang going, oh, it's all fake, man. There's no bomb in your neck. He's like, okay. He gets away. And then, like, the way they shoot it is, like, it's too quick. It's not kind of drawn out enough. There's no punchline. It just blows up. Where it should have been, like, he gets away. Captain Boomerang is like, see, I told you. There's no such... Like, oh, fuck. But they like, gloss over it, too. It's like, you don't get timing, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no timing in this. Probably, to me, the funniest part of this character was Jai Courtney's Captain Boomerang. He was the only part where I ever laughed.
Yeah, and he's barely in it. I would have liked more.
I totally agree. I thought he did a great job as Captain Boomerang, and I would have liked to see more of that character.
Although, again, you can tell when they were definitely going for that funny moment, and it never got a laugh, was the pink unicorn aspect. It was so... I'm like, really, guys? Come on.
I mean, I don't know if that comes from something else. I'm honestly not sure. I'm not too familiar with the Captain Boomerang character.
But even then, if they wanted to commit to it, the pink unicorn, okay, is weird. Would it, at the end, when they all have their demands, he would have a giant pink unicorn in his cell, and that'd be kind of a payoff? Instead of just a couple times, oh, fuck! Like, you know, like, it falls off his jacket, like, oh.
Yeah, there was really no payoff there. It didn't really make too much sense. But, yeah, that was one of the most disappointing things, apart from the editing, which was just atrocious. Every part of the editing was bad. And, you know, we already talked about this. Apparently there's, like, 7 different versions of this movie that were edited or whatever. And then apparently they just, like, took all of them and just put them together, and then that's the movie.
They did test screenings where basically they showed 2 versions. I think the original version, which was the darker one that David Ayer had in mind, and then the new version, which the trailer company had worked on, the funnier, you know, more stylized version, and like I forget what the reaction was, but basically they're like, okay, we'll just mash them together. It's not like they didn't commit to one or the other. It's like, we can have both.
So the tone is completely off with this movie.
Oh yeah,
because it's like super dark in several parts and serious, and then all of a sudden there's like a scene right next to it that's just like, you know, trying to be light and funny or whatever, and it's just nothing fits.
Yeah, the first half of this movie with all the flashbacks, you can tell they were definitely going for a style. I mean, like when the characters had like their cue cards, it's like Deadshot, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, it's almost like a Guy Ritchie film.
Yeah.
But then you compare that to the second half when they're in the city, and then they have these dramatic scenes with like Rick Flag and like the music. I'm like, okay, that just completely clashes. I mean, like this is you almost straight getting like, oh, holy shit, that was in the same movie as this. As a scene of where Jai Courtney his card is like fetish, pink unicorns. Cut to an hour later, they're in the terminal at the very end. It's like, don't kill him, Daddy. Like like weird shit like that, where it doesn't flow together at all.
No. All right. So we talked about Deadshot. We talked about Joker. Talked about Harley Quinn. Talked to him a little bit about, huh?
I know what we should talk about now.
We've talked about. I don't know if this is what you're thinking, but we talked about Captain Boomerang, and to me, those the three, Deadshot, Harley Quinn, and Captain Boomerang were the best part of the movie.
Yeah, I
will put Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang. I really enjoyed his, and I thought he was the only character that had a little bit of actual funny in the entire movie that was truly funny. Like when he's all in the bag, and then they just gets him out, and he just immediately like that was funny.
Yeah,
you saw him get like kidnapped by Flash, and then he's still in that same bag, and I thought that was funny.
Or when Rick Flag like destroys the modder thing, he was like, "You're free to go." He's like, "Okay."
Yeah, yeah, exactly. He was the only character that I thought actually was funny.
Yeah.
But then we'll talk about both the other main characters. I think we'll talk about Amanda Waller and Rick Flag, which
this is to me where the movie falls apart.
Those two might have been the worst characters in the movie.
And I'm not even counting the abomination that is the villain in this movie. I'm just
We'll
Amanda
talk about
Waller
that.
and Rick Flag alone are so. I mean, again, they're good actors.
Amanda Waller is okay for the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
the character, it seems to make sense. It seems to be very, like the Amanda Waller character.
Yeah.
And then in the second half, I don't even know what she was doing.
Well,
I don't know. Nothing made sense.
Dude, everything with Amanda Waller doesn't make sense. Please, if you can, answer me this question, because it's like the biggest one I have after seeing the movie. So, she's in the restaurant talking to the guys about why we should have Task Force X. Okay. Cut to, she's telling the Joint Chiefs why we should have it. And they're like, okay, you're right. And she says we need him because when someone like Superman comes, we need someone who can fight them. Cut to when Enchantress brings her brother to life and he's terrorizing Midway City, we see the military completely get their asses kicked. We hear the one guy go, our weapons are completely ineffective, and then the one guy goes, okay, green light Task Force X. You think, okay, they're being called in to fight these people. But then the first half of the whole mission, they're going after the high-value target, which you realize is Amanda Waller, which, why? What purpose does that serve? And then it's like, the big rain of death is like in the background. They're like, oh, don't worry about that. It's like, are we leaving that? Or so the Suicide Squad is just there to rescue you? Like, and that's why the Amanda Waller character doesn't make any sense. I think.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest issue, because what they tried to do was they tried to make Amanda Waller the villain of the movie.
At the end, yeah.
No, full on. I feel like this was another panic where they're like, oh, the audience still won't like these characters because they're villains, so we have to put someone who's even worse to be the actual villain. Because they knew nobody would care about the villain of the movie. So then they're like, oh, well, let's make her the villain. And it's like, you can, one, dumb, two, you can make her, like, Amanda Waller's is a very unlikable character in the movies, but it's for all these other reasons, very governmental stuff reasons. And then which they had that in the beginning. Right. And then in that second half, it didn't make sense anymore.
When she kills the interns for no reason, you're like, oh, that's it.
Oh, they weren't authorized. Oh yeah, so you just shoot them all yourself, and they don't even move.
Yeah.
Like she shot like 8 or 9 of them, and none of them moved. After the first shot, you'd be flying, and they'd be out.
And I love how they write it off as like, oh, it's a secret, top secret thing. It's like, yeah, because the Joint Chiefs, they saw, they're like, oh, yeah, we understand murdering people.
Right.
Now, like, oh, that scene was so...
Go ahead and kill our own government workers. Cause
I see no issue with this.
No.
no
And
fallback.
they're like Batman and Batman vs Superman.
Yeah, but
Or Superman and Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Just take him out.
But I mean, and then we'll go into. I mean, we talked about Rick Flag. Where
Yeah.
I'm actually glad Tom Hardy wasn't in this movie because he would have been so wasted.
I'm not. I feel like the biggest problem with that character was what is the name? Like Joel Kinnaman?
Joel Kinnaman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was by far the worst part of that entire movie.
See, I don't know if it's him or just
No,
what
it was him. Did you ever buy that guy once?
No, but I didn't buy.
Would you buy Tom Hardy even if he didn't have any lines?
I'd buy Tom Hardy in anything.
Right. You
But
would
I'm
have bought
glad-
Tom Hardy as the leader of that group. Regardless of how stupid they made it, you would still have bought that character.
I would buy him as the leader of the group, but the whole his love story with Enchantress,
Yes.
I'm glad I didn't have to see Tom Hardy be "I love you,"
Yes.
you know, because we made out in a hotel room, you know.
And yes, that part was very dumb, but I still would have bought it with Tom Hardy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm sure he would. I mean, I'm sure the chemistry between like Tom Hardy and Will Smith would have been so much better. And,
It would have
like,
been great.
Yeah, but I'm
It would have
glad.
been great.
I'm glad they didn't waste him, and if need be, if DC
It
does
wouldn't have,
eventually,
I'm telling you, it wouldn't have been wasted though. He's good enough, just like Will Smith. He was given a very weird version of Deadshot and whatever to play, and still was fantastic. It would have been the same thing with Tom Hardy. I don't even care. You could have given him, made up words to say throughout the thing, and it still, you would have believed he was the leader of that team and could himself take all those guys out without any reason being given. You would believe that Tom Hardy would still be in control. Which maybe they didn't want that. I don't know, because at the end he's not in control. That's part of the thing, and that was dumb too. But but yeah, I hated that Rick Flag so much. I never bought him. He was such a try-hard in that movie. It all was just like, shut up. Like that's what I got every time he was talking and trying to be all official and serious. I was like, just shut up. Just be quiet. We don't care, and they don't care, and it's just.
and the whole
They didn't
having-
even make him like they didn't even make the villains ever respect him. Ever. They
No.
treated him like we were treating him. It's just
Yeah.
whatever.
What they should have done is like the very first scene where they get to like the airfield right before they go in and they meet Rick Flag, like Harley or whoever, maybe not Harley because she was like a chick, but like one of the other people should have started talking back to Rick Flag, and he just fucking knocked them out dead cold.
Well,
And when
which they did with Captain Boomerang, but then it didn't go anywhere.
no, but it should have been Rick Flag to be like, shut the fuck up. I fucking own you, basically. He's like, I command you. I'm gonna tell you to go kill yourself, basically, if I want to. But they never had a scene like that.
No.
But yeah, it should be like,
He tried. It was all very try-hard. And to be honest, the whole movie felt jumbled and forced at the same time.
oh yeah,
That character was forced. Amanda Waller's character was forced. All that stuff just felt. The end plot was just really there was no plot until an hour into the movie.
But yeah, and again, like stuff happens where you think it's gonna affect the movie, and it doesn't. I mean, again, the whole them going after Amanda Waller. Why? Like,
It didn't even matter.
Yeah.
And then she was captured and then killed and then fined and then what?
Yeah, and then when they find out, when Will Smith finds the binder about Suicide Squad, and then he freaks out, I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna be like a twist. Not really, because then
No.
they find out that what they're really here for is to fight Enchantress, but they're not here to fight Enchantress because they're going after Amanda Waller. Like, you see what they were trying to do, but they just fuck it up completely.
And then they just went, we'll just do the same trope that's in every movie.
Yeah, throw the bomb at the bad guy.
The supernatural gonna destroy the world from the portal, and a bunch of people have already talked about that.
Yeah,
and
we don't even need
it's
to.
just the same thing. But yeah, let's talk about the villain of the movie, or villains of the movie, if you can even call them that.
I can't. I mean, the end when they're in the terminal, it's a big showdown, and like she starts talking in that weird like Galadriel and crack voice, hold up, you are here. Like that was like just every bad generic video game boss fight you've ever seen. Where it's like, and then like she even does like the cliches of like join me. Like, me, you want them to join you? I thought you were killing all the like. Oh,
Now, to be honest, you're gonna have to talk about this part because I was asleep at this part of the movie.
Oh,
Yes,
sorry.
I will admit I fell asleep during the end of this movie while all that was happening. After they decided to randomly, after they decided to save the world and whatever, and then when they went back on, I fell asleep during that. So then I woke up after they'd already killed it. So you're gonna have to take that one. Okay, to be fair, one, the movie did deserve me falling asleep. And two, I had been up for like 48 hours straight and then tried to go see the movie, and so, I got that far.
Yeah, that's a bad combination because I was on full, rest, and even by that point, I'm looking at popcorn kernels, like, studying them. I'm like, weird. I'd rather do that than watch what was going on. But actually going back, one thing I didn't pick up, so when they first go into the city in the helicopter, their helicopter gets shot down.
Right, and they're all fine.
Who shot down their helicopter?
The crazy Ghostbuster monsters.
But he was using like a weird big tentacle. Why did he use a gun? Alright, moving on.
Yeah, that's all I can say.
And then we get to the first confrontation with the jellymen.
Right.
Weird,
The putties.
creatures. Yeah, putties. The first confrontation, they're looking down their rifles and then they kind of see them in the dark. And they stay there for 5 minutes. I'm like,
Talking.
what is the mission right now? Yeah, talking very loudly.
No, remember, they're not allowed to engage.
Yeah, but then move on. They're like,
Right.
we're not allowed to engage. Don't engage. Go.
Well, they want to engage.
Why? They're standing there.
Who cares why? We got that awesome shot of Will Smith as Deadshot, which was awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Him
Yeah.
just on top of the car with the gauntlet guns, which made
Yeah.
me so happy. Right at the beginning, when back to the flashback, when he's doing the contract and everything, and then when he turns and he shoots him with the gauntlet gun, I was like, oh yes, they're using those, because
Yeah.
everything in the trailer, it was always a rifle or something. And so that finally we saw those, and in that scene, he just is using the two gauntlet guns, mowing down everybody, and then everybody else just stops and is watching. That was awesome. That was a
and
great
another
scene.
thing, I know that the reason the putty men wanted the grabber flag was because the Enchantress wanted him or something. I don't
Right.
know. But it just, again, it made him look like a pussy where, everyone's fighting. Harley Quinn is holding her own, and he's like, ah!
Oh no, how many times was he saved?
Oh my god.
3, 4, where they're like, oh, we have to save him or we'll all die. They
Yeah.
used that, okay, that's good once. They
Yeah.
used it, I don't know, at least 3 times, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, he was completely worthless. Like, it was just, that character, I think, was the worst of the movie. Other than the villain.
Yeah, he's up there.
He was just terrible. Yeah, so there's just this whole just giant cluster mess of a battle, which felt more like Transformers 3 than anything else. Just this big, long, endless battle in the dark, so you can't really see anything.
Dark, uninvested, you don't care.
No.
I mean, yeah.
And then they just stop it in the middle, and they all go to the bar and have a drink, which was fine. It's like, finally, we got a little bit of something where they're like, forget this.
Yeah.
We're just gonna leave, and then he, and then they're in, the bar, and that's a completely different scene than what we saw from the trailer.
Right.
But that scene was fine. I've heard a lot of people talk about that. That was how good that scene was, and I thought it was good.
It was nice to actually get some
Character development.
Yeah, character.
It's the first time they're ever together, not fighting.
And that was the other
entire
part.
movie.
And that's the other part. There's no build-up of the team. I mean, you look at movies like Dirty Dozen. I mean, movies like that have the build-up. This movie is literally, they're all separate in their flashbacks. They come together. There's no type of introduction, oh, we're not going to get along. It's just straight into the mission. And that's why you just hit the ground running, but in a bad way, where your feet are already behind you and you just fall flat on your face. And that was the same problem with Man of Steel, is that you never get a chance to who's this character? Why? Oh no, we're just going. Okay,
Yeah, and then they had to ruin it because the scene was done fine, even though it was different. You can tell, whatever. The scene was done well. I thought everybody was done well.
Yeah.
And then you had to ruin it by having Rick Flag show up there, and then him be like, "Oh, I like her. She's my thing," and then him do his whole sob story about the girl, and it's like, who cares? None of these people should care. They should have had someone stand. They should have had Will Smith just looking at him and go, "Who? So?" And then just moving on, and them just continue to talk like he didn't even say anything. That would have been good, and that would have been funny.
Yeah, if someone just gone, shut up.
Yeah, and then they had to be all serious, and then like the next thing was them then going to stop whatever the thing was, and it was like, okay, I mean, I get why they're doing it, because they'll get killed in the process, so I get them doing it, but it just, the whole thing of making them have to save the world, I hate that so much.
Yeah, having them fight a supernatural apocalypse is wrong. Again, because then you see that everything going on, you're like, where's Flash? Where's Batman? Where's Superman, but he's dead, thank God. Where's everyone else? But it's like, why are we sending the Suicide Squad? Like, they should be going after some, like, terrorist underground.
The Joker.
The Joker, of course, is a big one, but something that makes sense, something shady that the government can't do. Not, we need you to save the world. Why? Because you have a baseball bat, and you have scales, and you have a boomerang.
Right. Now that's one of the big things going around now, is like, what was this team supposed to do?
Again, we don't know. Save Amanda
you have
Waller.
A guy, you have a sharpshooter, a crazy girl with a bat, a crazy guy with razor boomerangs. What are they supposed to do that like an army couldn't do?
I don't know.
Other than El Diablo, can any of them actually do anything?
No, and El Diablo, like, I couldn't care less. I'm sorry.
Because they miss the point of the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
The Suicide Squad is sent to do like assassinations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And with you putting them in this position, where the whole reason they're here is to stop Superman.
Yeah.
How are they supposed to stop Superman?
Exactly.
But then maybe Enchantress because of magic? Like, how? There's nothing there.
But then they completely gloss over when they're flying into the city. You see where the doomsday is happening or whatever, and they're flying past it. Like, oh, that's pretty. I'm like, oh, wait, you're just going to save Amanda Waller, so you created a team to save you, knowing that you would inevitably be trapped, even though I don't know why you're trapped. I don't even know why you're in Midway City, because, again, we never get any establishing shots. It's, oh, Midway City. Oh, Amanda Waller's here. I thought you were in DC. No? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
and
it's just...
that's the part where I'm like, we have lowered our expectations with these movies so much. If you did that in another movie, I mean, a Marvel movie, let's be honest, where it was that type of storytelling, that type of editing, that movie would be torn apart, and rightfully so. But even now, I see 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, this movie was awesome. It's like, I get if you can like it just for all the cool, wacky stuff, but do not tell me this is a good, well-made movie, because it's not. And that's why critics have torn it apart. But they're wrong, I guess.
Yeah, apparently. And I definitely, anyway. But, so that, I mean, that's, and then at the end, they're just all gone. And they're out in the open now, I guess.
Yeah, so Diablo dies, shocking, it's...
Oh, he did?
He did, I'm sorry.
See, I was asleep during that part. I didn't even know he died. Okay.
I'm sorry to bring this news on you like that. I know you're going to be torn apart.
To be honest, I didn't mind. I didn't mind that character. I
didn't mind it, but the fact that they were fleshing him out more than any other character, oh, you're dead.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But
I didn't even know he died. How'd he die?
He killed him. No, he didn't kill the brother. He held the brother, and then the one Navy SEAL killed himself, and it blew up all three of them. And
oh yeah, that's another dumb part. Talking about the whole Suicide Squad, what their purpose is. The whole purpose of the Suicide Squad is to do missions that they won't send anybody else to do because they're suicide missions.
Yeah.
Every time they go out, an entire army comes with them.
Yeah.
So then why are they there?
I don't know.
Like that it just defeats the whole purpose of the Suicide Squad characters.
It's the same problem I had. It's the same problem I had in Man of Steel, where they're igniting the black hole, and Lois falls out of the plane with the Air Force guys, and of course Superman saves her. But he's like, "Thanks, Air Force guys, for sacrificing yourself. Even though I could do it and be fine, thank you for blowing yourselves up, because that's something that Superman would do, But don't worry, I got Lois.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I just had to mention that. So people, whatever. I guess that's how it is. I didn't even know how that stuff happened. So anyway, the thing blows up, I guess, and then the threat goes away, and then Oh,
Good
the
news, though.
Enchantress is still here, and
She's still alive, and Rick Flag are together, which is what we all wanted.
Yay! And and then
Amanda Waller's like, I guess you did save the day, so I'm not gonna let you free because I'm not stupid. Despite everything else I've done in this movie, I'll give you a couple, things. So Will Smith can see his kid every so often. That was a good scene.
right. They were still in jail. You're right. I forgot.
Yeah. Harley Quinn gets an espresso machine, something
right.
Harley would want.
Right.
Again, Boomerang doesn't get a unicorn or anything. Could have tied that off, but I guess not.
Yeah.
Killer Croc, we haven't even mentioned for good reason.
Yeah, they didn't do anything with him, which was disappointing.
I thought his makeup looked really good. I like how, but he doesn't do anything.
No, literally nothing.
No. But hey, so he gets the TV, and then we get to the very end, which is lead up to more movies, blah blah blah, fan service. Shocking, the Joker is dead, but I forgot he was even alive in the first place.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that part.
Yeah, what's there to talk about?
Well, the whole thing of why does Harley Quinn have a phone?
Because the guard gave it to her.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, Red Letter Media
the guard with the Joker, the Joker guard.
Yeah, Red Letter Media got crucified because they talked about that. But
I missed that.
When they're wheeling them off in the wheelchairs, he talks to her, and they don't zoom in, which is I kind of give him credit for, because it's like, hey, if you're paying attention, you'll see it. But he very clearly gives her a phone as they're going away.
Okay.
And that was another awful scene we didn't talk about, where he goes and confronts the guy in the casino.
Right.
That was cringeworthy, but anyway.
Okay, right. But then later, during the beginning of the battle, then we have where the helicopter shows up and the Joker's now finally caught up to Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
And which should have been the introduction of the Joker, because that would have been cool.
That would have been a great twist, too.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, we're going to see the Joker in this movie? Because we've heard about him, we know he's coming eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put him the number1 marketing thing in the world, only to have 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how awesome would that have been if we never even thought he was going to be in the movie, and then, oh, fuck. You know?
It would have been cool. And then, the Joker, then the Joker disables Harley Quinn's bomb, and then Deadshot. See, I can't even call him Deadshot. I keep calling him Will Smith.
I do too. I mean, that's all I ever do.
Yeah, and so, he refuses to kill her, and then, but then they shoot down the helicopter anyway, which seemed kind of like this was the Joker's plan, just to get shot down from the helicopter.
It makes him very imposing and such a threat, where he is like, I'm going to get Harley Quinn. Oh, fuck, the helicopter's going down. Oh, I'll get you next time.
And then he's dead or whatever, and then she ends up coming back for no reason. And
no, that was another good character development. But I mean, you can add that up to she's crazy, so blah blah blah, whatever.
And then okay, so then we're at the end of the movie, and then the Joker, of course, here he is. He's not dead. Surprise! Just like Superman's not dead. Surprise! Yeah. And then he gets in, and that's the end of the movie.
Here's my problem. That could have been actually really good. So I think one thing that they completely missed out on this movie was having a scene where right before the Suicide Squad has been approved, Amanda Waller is in her office or somewhere, and Batman, not Bruce Wayne, Batman confronts her and goes, "You are doing..." We'll get to that. Stay with me. He's like, "What you're doing is madness." He's like, and she's like, "Well, you can't stop me. I have the whole government behind me." And him just going, "Okay, well, whatever happens with these villains, I'm holding you personally accountable for. So when it inevitably goes wrong, I'm coming after you." And her just being like, "Whatever." And then we cut to the end of the movie. Joker breaks everyone out of the prison, Harley and whatnot, all the other criminals. Amanda Waller's on her phone in Gotham or whatever. She hears, "Hey, guess what? Your plan backfired. The criminals got away." Her just being like, "Oh, fuck." Cut to, look in the sky, bat signal appears, and her just being like, "Oh, shit," That would have been great.
Yeah, I never even thought about that. That would have been a good idea.
That would have been so cool. You'd be like, oh boy. But no, instead it's, the last shot is the Joker. It's like, oh, yay. 21 Pilots. Here we go.
Yeah. Which, to be honest, I like that song.
I haven't heard the whole thing, but it sounds pretty good.
I actually like it, and I don't like that type of music normally, but I kind of like that song. But anyway.
But do you want to talk about the bonus scene?
Yeah, this was my least favorite part of the movie.
I agree. I totally forgot about it.
The bad
like,
villains,
oh, shit.
Of the bad characters, of everything. That is my least.
I was about to walk out because I just wanted to get out there. I'm like, oh shit, Mark didn't mention this. And yeah, go ahead. I'll give my
So-
two cents about it.
In the mid-credit scene, we have Amanda Waller at that same table, I swear, from the beginning.
Yeah, it is.
And giving files on all the Suicide Squad people and all of the potential Justice League people to Bruce Wayne. Not Batman, Bruce Wayne. I already had a problem with this with the trailer for Suicide Squad, or for Justice League, because it's Bruce Wayne recruiting all of the other heroes and just being like, "Hi, by the way, I'm Batman. Come join me."
Yeah.
And now, basically, Batman has no secret identity
No.
because
No.
the government knows who he is.
No.
So how is he still being allowed to operate?
Yeah. And Batman might be the most important when it comes to keeping his identity.
Right.
Other than Spider-Man and other
Right.
than Superman, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are big three. You don't know. That's
Mm-hmm.
like half of their character right there.
Yeah. And just throwing it around like it's nothing. And this is even more to a degree than we've seen in the past.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is too ahead of a government agency
Yeah.
who's
An
already crazy.
And an antagonist, too. Yeah.
Right. And
It's not like,
Okay.
I'll keep your secret, buddy. No.
two problems. One is that's the biggest problem. Two is here's another idiot Batman who, no, he's not the one figuring out the Justice League. He was just handed the thing.
Yeah.
So zero detective again.
There are three problems. You want to know what the other one is? Okay. So, first Iron Man movie comes out. Everyone's like, Iron Man.
Fantastic.
Iron Man. Well, we never thought we'd get an Iron Man movie. Oh, this is awesome. Final credit scene. I want to talk to you about the Avengers system. Oh, fuck. We're going to get the Avengers? We never thought that. The very first movie of Cinematic Universe. So this final credit scene is supposed to be, holy shit, Bruce Wayne is putting together the Justice League. One problem. We've fucking seen the Justice League already. We've seen them together.
Right.
How fucking stupid is that? Guess what, guys? The Justice League is coming. Yeah, asshole, I know it's coming. You just showed them all together in the same shot at the very end. I thought you weren't real. I am sometimes. Why are you even teasing this? Why? It's so stupid. It might as well have been like the very first Iron Man movie, that credit scene. All they do is show footage from the Avengers. Like, that's coming. Oh!
Which they did for Captain America or one
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah, but again, the very first nugget, no one even thought of it. Avengers? That's crazy. We never thought we were getting that. We know you've announced your film slate for the next 20 years. We know what's coming. And in this movie, the files come, we're supposed to be like, oh, The Flash. I've already seen him, but oh,
We've already
Aquaman.
seen him in this movie.
Exactly. That's why I was
Literally,
like,
he was already in the movie.
that's why I'm like, you guys are so stupid. You have no idea.
Yeah, they really don't.
Again, and they also talk about, they're like, we're not going to copy Marvel with after the credit scenes. It's like, we actually want you to copy Marvel in that
Right.
regard because that'd be awesome. But
Right.
they fuck it up. God.
So it's like, alright, great. We have a Batman who's being given all the information. We have a Batman who the entire government now knows who he is. Thank you for ruining the Batman. in this
All to
movie.
tell us something we already know, that the
Right.
Justice League is coming.
Right. As dumb as it was that Batman's recruiting these guys, and as dumb as it is that he's recruiting them as Bruce Wayne, now he's not even the one who recruited them.
Yeah.
All the information was already
He
found.
might as well just pull a full Batman 5 Superman and just send emails like he did to Wonder Woman to every other member of the Justice League. Hey, you want to join the Justice League? No thanks. Oh, BRB. Like, what? Oh, God. Just go full lazy. Just own it. Like, fuck it. The Justice League came together on a chain email.
Right. Yeah, so
I'd
that was,
actually-
that
I
was
think that'd be-
disappointing. So, I guess overall thoughts.
I mean, again, I'm really thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? I just might have to accept that these DC movies, which is crazy to say, aren't for me. because you still have. I mean, it's making a shit ton of money, even though it had a big drop off, but we knew that was coming. In the second week of box office, still making a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
And the problem is, I don't want to give this movie money. Actually, I'm mad because I, paid $15 because it went toward them. Because then you're telling Warner Brothers, who I think is the biggest culprit behind all this, more than Zack Snyder, more than David Ayer, more than anybody else, Warner Brothers, and how they're handling this. You're telling them by giving their money and saying, no, I love this movie regardless of all the issues, that this is what we're going to settle for. Messy story writing, poorly written, put together characters and motivations, bad villains. I mean, people give Marvel crap for bad villains. DC's 0 for 3. Zod was terrible.
Zod was the best one out of all of them.
And he still was bad. And Michael Shannon's a great actor.
Yeah.
But Zod was terrible. Jesse Eisenberg is unfathomable. And this one is worse than Malekith in Thor 2, is worse than, Ronan in Guardians of the Galaxy. Just way worse, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. But unfortunately, we're going to keep seeing him. Yeah. The biggest thing is just we need, the biggest problem is it's going to end up turning off the general public.
Yeah,
and then they're not going to make the money, which then they're not going to make any movies. Yeah. So that's the problem.
And that hurts every superhero movie. Even Captain America felt some of it. I mean, it still made a shit ton of money opening weekend, but people thought it was going to make near $200 million, and it made like 170, 60, something like that. But it affects all of them. And the people who say that Marvel wants DC to fail, it's like, no, they want it to do well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. You're going to keep this going.
Yeah. And we love it. I mean, this is what we wanted our whole lives, is for a comic book movie to come out almost every couple of months.
Yeah.
Awesome. But yeah, the people just blindly going, fuck it, I just love these characters, so it doesn't matter if the movie they're in is total crap. I'm going to see it multiple times. I'm going to condemn those who speak out against it. And it's like, and again, you're perpetuating the idea that, mediocrity is okay.
Right.
We should be okay with it because, Batman's on the screen, that's all I care about. No, I want a good movie,
And they could have made this movie good.
Now,
Batman vs. Superman, the way they had it all set up, that had no chance of being good.
Yeah,
This movie had a chance of being very good.
Yeah, because you hear that, you're like, that's a really cool idea.
And the trailers were great, and it all felt good. And
great actors.
I feel like the movie would have been so much better if you had to use the Joker, what I thought he was originally going to be used for, as the villain of the movie.
Yeah.
They're sent out to take out the Joker, this huge threat who Batman won't kill, so they got to get this task force to go out and kill the Joker themselves.
And it all goes south.
How great would that be between Harley Quinn, who's in love with the Joker, being forced with a bomb in her neck to go against the Joker? And then they could do these little subtle things of her helping him get away, and so much could have happened in that movie.
Yeah.
And it would have been lower scale, which Suicide Squad's supposed to be.
Should have been, yeah.
And they just, didn't go that direction, and, we got what we got, and it was disappointing. It was that's the best word I can say with this movie, was it's disappointing, because I was truly looking forward to this movie, and now I am no longer looking forward to any DC movie.
No.
Really at all. I mean, unfortunately, I will be seeing them all. I mean, I'm sure I will. I'm sure I'm going to see Justice League. I'm sure I'll see the Batman movie when it comes out.
I'll definitely see a Batman movie because I like Ben Affleck as a director a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I agree. It's like, if you had told me 10 years ago, Ian, you're going to be more excited for Doctor Strange than you are for Justice League, I'd probably tell you to go kill yourself because you're crazy. But now, I mean, that's what happens. The character I've never cared about versus the Justice League, a movie I've wanted to see my whole entire life. I mean, like, how do you do that? I know it's only me, but still, I
agree. I agree.
It's
anyway,
sad.
I don't know.
I mean, people are going to say that we're just angry fanboys who love Marvel and hate DC. But the reason why we're so outspoken and upset is because we're sad about what's happening. Because we know that they can do better. We've seen them do better. And we know that honestly, I think DC has the better characters and the better, source, to work with. And they're messing it all up.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's amazing how we've gone from pretty much all superhero movies are good to now most of them aren't.
Deadpool, and of all the ones that have come out this year, there have been a lot. Deadpool and Captain America.
Right. And then look back at the, mid 2000s, later 2000s, and, we're getting the Dark Knight, we're getting Iron Man.
Yeah,
we're
same
getting,
summer. I mean, this whole summer has been one of the worst summer movies ever.
Well, Civil War was great,
but that
came
out.
That's the only one, though.
The problem is that came out almost too early for it to be a summer movie, really.
No, it counts, I think. I get what you're saying.
But yeah. But, I mean, typically, from, late May, early June to, what would be now, Tarzan was crap. I don't know if you saw that. I hated that. Jason Bourne apparently wasn't that good.
It was good. Jason Bourne was very good, yeah.
Okay, that's good. Free State of Jones apparently wasn't good.
That was boring. I did see that.
This movie wasn't good.
So dull. That could have been a good movie too, and it went on way too long.
This movie, we didn't have a huge tentpole because you could say Captain America, but I think that came out a little bit too early. But whatever. But yeah, it's it's so disappointing.
Yeah, and it's just we went from pretty much all the movies being good, where you had, well, I guess I was going to say the Spider-Man movies, but that was a little bit earlier. That was a little bit before then, because that was 2002 and 2005. I want to say this Spider-Man 2 came out.
And keep in mind that's also around the same time where you had Daredevil, Ghost Rider, you had a couple
Fantastic
of those
Four.
really bad ones.
Yeah, that's true. So I mean,
I
guess,
know what you're saying.
But then we had that middle period where the early Marvel, which
to
be honest, early Marvel wasn't great. Other than Iron Man, which I still think before Civil War, that was still my favorite Marvel movie.
I get that.
But other than we had the Nolan movies, and all these other things going on that were good. And when a superhero movie came out, it was like, oh, superhero movie's coming out. Now it's like, oh, a Marvel movie's coming out, and a DC movie's coming out. That's what it's turned into.
And they're coming out so close in between. Is that when you have one that stinks like this, you kind of still feel that going into the next one, even if you're excited about it. Where people are just going to be kind of weary. Oh, another superhero movie. The last one wasn't very good. And we're kind of already seeing that, and it's sad,
Yeah.
I don't know.
But anyway, Suicide Squad. I didn't hate it. I liked parts of it. Overall, I liked the movie better than Batman vs Superman or Batman 5 Superman.
Yeah, I probably agree.
And
it's not a recommendation.
I probably would see it again. I don't know when, but I probably would see it again. I probably would like it better the second time. There's less of a disappointment thing.
Yeah, and you probably catch a little bit more, maybe.
And there's I liked Deadshot. I liked Harley Quinn. I liked Captain Boomerang. I liked the beginning parts of Batman. So there were some positives to take away from it. That those opening flashback scenes with Batman, with the Deadshot scene, and then the Joker Harley Quinn chase scene was fantastic. Him punching her in the face was hilarious. That was one of the only other funny parts of that movie.
Yeah,
that was really funny. That was really funny.
At a woman being punched in the face, but it's hey, whatever works.
No, I mean, there's been a thing with that, but it's look, it's a criminal. There's a number of movies where there's a fight, between a guy and a girl. Kingsman, in the end, was between a guy and it's different when it's it's not the same. And he didn't sit there and beat her up either.
No, right. It was one punch to knock her.
Come on, and it was hilarious.
Yeah. The only way I would watch it again is if they're talking about the extended version, which I'm sure we'll get later on, and of course people will say use that as an excuse. Oh, the extended version will come out, it'll fix everything. No, it won't. It doesn't matter because a lot of people like me don't want to see it again. It's like a bad dish you're eating. Where the first bite, you're like, oh, this is awful. And they're like, no, just give it 5 or 10 minutes, and it's not bad. I'm like, I don't want to give it 5 or 10 minutes.
Right.
But the only way I would watch it again is if David Ayer's original dark version, how it was right before all the reshoots and everything. I would watch that for curiosity.
I would
see if I like it better.
I would. This is definitely one I feel like should come out with a director's cut.
Yeah.
And this time it would literally be a director's cut.
Yeah, because
other
they
than
would
just
cut,
this part was taken out or this part was taken.
Yeah.
No, a literal director's cut.
cut all this crap and music out. Like,
Right. But anyway, so I mean, that was Suicide Squad. There was some good parts, some bad parts, some messy parts, some
But
just
overall,
annoying
it's-
parts.
yeah.
And it was overall was disappointing to me. I was expecting a better movie, and that's not what we got. And now we're stuck here, kind of wondering for Wonder Woman, which looks all right, but I just don't really care too much about the character.
And even now, there are rumors that Wonder Woman is also a mess. And of course, people are going, "Oh, we can't trust this." It's like people after 3 movies. I'm inclined to believe that. You know, it's like I've seen the proof. Like I understand you're like, "Oh, it came from one person. We don't know that." The track record, let's be honest here,
Yeah.
makes sense. But yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm like, I'm broken. I'm beaten. I'm like, okay, Wonder Woman, okay.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm kind of that same way with DC right at this point. This was kind of the last hope,
Yeah.
and now it's just like, all right, we'll wait for the next one, and we're not, waiting too hard.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the last Super lot though until November, till Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Although there's a lot of good movies coming out this
Yeah.
fall, and thank God.
Mhm.
A lot of them really looking forward to.
Yeah, there are some.
Yeah.
So
Which
anyway,
we'll talk more about on off camera
yeah, but
for another time.
anyway, that's gonna be it for this episode of the Uncaped Crusaders review. That's us
Barely
talking
a little bit shorter, but
about- yeah, tiny bit shorter, but
Little bit.
we just have such opinions about this thing. And sometimes we got to get it out there, and this is the first time we've talked about this movie, so
yeah, that too.
this is kind of fleshing everything out. So
Yeah.
anyway, hope you guys enjoy this. Go ahead to subscribe to the channel, Uncaped Crusaders review, and go watch our first video of us just completely destroying Batman 5 Superman. And I'm not really sure we'll do. You know what? Next time you'll have to see Killing Joke, and we'll have to do Killing Joke next.
Yeah.
Is
That's
that
I'm
what
sure.
you
I've heard a lot about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So the next one we'll do is will be Killing Joke, coming up soon. And see you guys next time. I'm Mark,
I mean.
and this is the Uncaped Crusaders review.